So, today we are going to be talking about the Montauk Project.
Ooh, okay.
So for those that don't know, Stranger Things is actually based on this conspiracy that is the Montauk Project. Before we get into the Montauk Project specifically, I want to bring up the Philadelphia experiment and the Manhattan Project because they're kind of intertwined from the same time frame, kind of like that.
Cool.
So, according to Carl M. Allen, who was in the Navy at the time, in 1943, the U.S. Navy was conducting top secret experiments involving technology that would make naval ships invisible to enemy radar, aka the Philadelphia experiment. Allegedly, an eerie green blue glow surrounded the ship named the Eldridge, and the ship disappeared. The ship
What?
was then seen in Virginia before disappearing again and reappearing back in Philadelphia.
What?
Yeah. So the legend states that classified military documents reported that the Eldridge crew were affected by the events in disturbing ways. Some went
Mm.
insane, others developed mysterious illness, but others still were said to have been fused together with the ship. Still alive, but with limbs sealed to the metal.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Wait, what does that mean?
So when the ship went invisible and jumped timelines or did what it did, some people gained illnesses, some people went a little insane in their brain, and some people literally had limbs fused to the metal of the ship.
What?
Now this is alleged.
But okay, but it wouldn't surprise me because if
Yeah.
they were really, what do you say, like traveling through portals or
Yeah,
time travel?
whatever. I mean, it didn't specify that, but it when it turned invisible and then it jumped to Virginia like within a matter of seconds. So
And what year was this again?
this is 1943. So with that being said, I'm gonna jump over. So that was the Philadelphia experiment. Okay.
Okay.
This that I'm jumping into now is the Manhattan Project.
Okay. And that
Um,
has to do with Oppenheimer, right?
it was directed by Oppenheimer.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
Very
the
cool.
Manhattan Project was a research and development undertaking during World War II that produced the first nuclear weapons or the atomic bomb from
Mhm.
1942 to 1946. So as they were working on these bombs, supposedly they were getting radiation
Mhm.
poisoning. And in order to understand the poisoning, how to treat it, maybe what they can withhold, they
Mhm.
tested
Mhm.
it on people. So allegedly handicapped children and adults.
I mean, the U.S. government does have a history of testing on other
Yes.
Americans.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's true, but
Yeah.
that's just a little background on the Manhattan Project. I'm not going to go too deep into it. So
Okay,
I
so we have.
also have a couple facts about Oppenheimer that I learned that I wanted to tell
Ooh.
you. Not sure if you knew this or not. Oppenheimer had also almost fully discovered black holes long before the atom bomb was created.
Whoa.
So this is quoted from the scientificamerican.com.
Wow. Okay.
Oppenheimer's third paper, written with his student Hartland Snyder, explores the implications of general relativity on the universe's most massive stars. Although the physicists needed to include some assumptions to simplify the equation, they determined that a large enough star would gravitationally collapse indefinitely, and within an infinite amount of time, meaning that the objects we now know as black holes could exist. So he basically figured out black holes, but he didn't have the scientific evidence
Uh,
necessarily to back him on it at that time.
Little rabbit trail. Do you think we've discovered and developed them by now?
Oh yeah.
Same.
Another little fact about Oppenheimer is that he actually created what we know today as glitter.
What?
Yes, so he cut washers made up of a mineral called mica, as we know today,
Okay.
um, that would go on to hold plutonium rods inside of the atomic bomb. But whenever he cut those washers, there was a bunch of powder left over from the mica mineral that shimmers and was made into what we know today as glitter, which could have to do with Barbie.
Oh.
Just to throw that out there. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about the Montauk Project.
Okay.
So the Montauk Project is a conspiracy theory that alleges there was a series of United States government projects involving mind control, time travel, child abduction, and hallucinogenic drug experiments being conducted at Camp Hero or Montauk Air Force Station in Montauk, New York, for the purpose of developing psychological warfare.
What the heck?
Now, this is
What?
what Stranger Things is based off of, this conspiracy
Okay.
theory. So, in the 70s and 80s, a guy named Preston Nichols was the leader of the psychotronics movement. He wrote a book, actually, multiple books, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, about the Montauk Project and claimed that government agents were using electromagnetic radiation to transmit ideas directly into people's heads. They did that in the show. He claims to have been teleported to Montauk in 1968, and he says he worked on Camp Hero's semi-automatic ground environment radar tower. It's
What?
important to consider that there is validating evidence of pre-existing secret government projects, such as MKUltra. So a guy named Al Bielek, not sure if I'm pronouncing that last name right, who's known for The Dark Files or The Truth About the Philadelphia Experiment, Invisibility, Time, Travel, and Mind Control, The Shocking Truth, which came out in 2010, and The Montauk Chronicles, which came out in 2015, was involved in the Montauk experiments and allegedly time traveled through alien connections to the year 2749. And I did see some clips on from the film of him talking about it. He described society as drastically changed in the year 2749. He said there were ground-based cities just like we have now, but they also had floating cities due to anti-gravity techniques being perfected. Because
That's
instead of
very.
building out when our population grows, we're going to have to build up because we're running out of room to build out.
I didn't even think about that as a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
He said
I
the
believe
world
it.
population was only 500 million and there was no governments, no money, no banks, and each city was run by an intelligent computer. Another conspiracy that revolves around the Montauk Project is the Montauk Monster.
Oh.
In July 2008, so this is a little more recent,
Oh, that's yeah.
the carcass of a beaked, hairless creature washed up on the shores of Montauk. Local newspapers speculated that the corpse had washed up from Plum Island, which is close to where the Montauk experiments and everything happened,
Right.
and was an experiment from the government secretive animal disease center gone horribly wrong.
Ew.
Yeah.
That thing looks. If I saw that thing running to me
Now,
in the middle of the night, I don't know what I would do.
now you know what scientists claim it is? Or
What?
said so they didn't claim, they said they believe it could be a
Mhm.
badly decayed raccoon.
There's
That
no
don't look
way.
like no raccoon to me.
That's not a raccoon. Did you see its mouth? It has like almost like a beak
A
thing. Wait,
beak.
let me look at it again.
It
I'm
literally
gonna
has a
look at
beak.
it again. I'm gonna look at it right now while like picturing a raccoon. Yeah, not even close. Not.
Now, in the summer of 2016, a couple
Uh-huh.
was walking near the same beach where the last body was found, and
Okay.
another carcass that looked eerily similar but with webbed feet was found. It had
Oh.
coarse hair and sharp canine teeth. So, lastly, on the subject of this Montauk project, I want to
Mm-hmm.
talk about Camp Hero's semi automatic ground environment, aka SAGE radar tower.
Okay.
Now, this tower still stands, and it is supposedly where a lot of these experimentations happened. So, this was the main, like, mothership tower on the actual base that
Mm,
connected to multiple towers throughout the ocean. So, if someone was headed to attack us, we would know at least 30 minutes in advance through radar signals.
What good would that do? We'd be done for.
Exactly. But there was already allegations that people that stood too close to any of these towers were having extreme radiation poisoning,
Oh, wow.
random illnesses that they couldn't explain. Um, the crazy conspiracy that goes along with the tower that still stands to this day. It isn't active, but it's still there. Allegedly, sadistic experiments took place beneath the radar tower in secret laboratories connected by a series of tunnels. Thousands of children were allegedly taken from the streets, kept below ground, abused, and programmed into super soldiers known as the Montauk Boys, aka all the soldiers you see in Stranger Things, like 11, who they're training to be government weapons, basically.
Oh,
Using power frequencies, scientists supposedly tapped into the consciousness and can control the minds of these impressionable children. Camp Hero is still there, the tower is still there, and it is now a public state park.
what? I want to
So
go
you
there. Let's
can
go
visit
there.
it. You can't
Let's
go to the tower, like they have gates around it and it says like you'll be
go.
prosecuted if you enter, like
Yeah.
but the whole vibe of it is very Stranger
Weird.
Things. So that's really all I got on that, but I feel like it's interesting. It makes me even more excited for a new season of Stranger Things. If I missed any facts, if you know
You
anything
want to
cool,
hear it?
comment it. If you didn't hear about it, I hope you enjoyed and learned some interesting theories.
That was super interesting. Thanks for talking about that and,
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
laying
It
out all
was
the
fun.
details for us.